What's up, amazing people? My name is Anne Marugi and I'm proudly Kenyan. You're listening to For Better 254, a space for young Kenyans to learn and learn with an aim of trying to bring forward a better Kenya for us and for generations to come. Well, guys, welcome to today's episode. I know it's been a real minute, but I do hope you guys are doing okay. You began the year in a good place and things are working out for you. But in case that's not the case, I do promise you it does get better. And if it helps, at the beginning of the year, I did put out an affirmation that maybe you could go back to that, read through it, believe in it, and maybe it might be helpful in whatever you could be struggling with. The handle is at For Better 254 in case you're wondering what post I'm talking about, find it there. Personally, I've had both ups and downs this far, but through it all, I'm just grateful for existing and for everything happening in my life, both the good, the bad, and all the lessons it's actually teaching me, because it's giving me so much clarity, more than I even thought I could get, to be honest. And as I speak of being taught, today I want to tell you guys that these past years I've just been interacting with things that have been eye-opening in various ways in my life, in different facets of my life, and thinking about some of those things. Those are actually some of the things that drove me to beginning For Better 254. And so today, my plan is to share with you some of all those things that I'm learning and their role in leading to my radicalization, as our topic today is what radicalized me. Now, if you guys have been following my contents this far, you might be knowing I do have a thing for social justice. I do believe in equality for all, economically, politically, socially. I believe in letting people be free. I think everyone has a big role to play in this life and no one is less of another. And I'm even further always convinced that there is a big need to achieve social justice. There is a need for people to live life without lacking. And I think it's very much inhumane when people lack basic needs, have poor health care, and almost nothing is done about it. Like people die daily in their homes because they can't access good health care. Someone died trying to give to give birth from home. Like, for me, it's just wow. Also, if I imagine that there is a 95% chance that somewhere in Isiolo, not one, but several children slept hungry and are waking up hungry, and there's a very big chance, there's a very minimal chance for them to get food at any time of the day. If I also think that in the same world that we live in the Western world, there's a 90% chance not a single child will know of hunger or gun sounds, like those maybe born in Wajir or those born in Mandera. When I think of such realities, to be honest, guys, and many other things that I see happening in this world, I'm constantly hurt. And so I just decided, you know what, I really don't want to be among the people promoting this. And I would say that was the beginning of my radicalization. I refuse to just sit and say life is unfair. Well, my conscience really does convince me that 100% life is very much fair. Because if I think about it, or if you even think about it, when we say life is unfair, what are we equating? The unfairness we're equating life to be honest, has been created by men. Because if you again think about it, certain people actually did decide that some people are deserving of quality life and some people are not. And that's why I've given the example of those kids in Isiolo and those kids somewhere in Western worlds. And this has actually been crafted very neatly through the system that I came to find out that is called the white supremacy system. Yes, I know this now becomes a bit controversial in many ways, but where your skin color and the region determines your worth for a socially just life. It's how dark are you or how light you are that will determine how much worth of life you will get. Guys, it's messed up. And it's quick to think, you know what, when you're talking about white supremacy, there's nothing like white supremacy in Kenya or in Africa. I mean, we don't have white people here. How can that be happening? But the reality is that even our oppression, our struggle, these people who can't access healthcare, these people who are sleeping hungry, those things are what make white supremacy strong. Guys, realizing that, for me, I was like, nah, you know what? things gotta change. And it's also I could also say that realizing that actually unlocked so much of things that I'm so glad they actually unlocked. And white supremacy was introduced to our continent and to Africans in general, or minorities, through colonization. Colonization was the method used to promote white supremacy, and it's the major cause of inequality all around the world. If you look through so many readings and stuff, it does actually say that. Yes, it's true that we got independence, and so we should be thinking, aye, we are past colonization, right? But colonization was just the beginning. Our beliefs and ideas were slowly being swept away, and we were enslaved to following their ways of life as civilized people, because we consider white people civilized people. Starting actually with the design of our political affairs. I've been wondering, why are our politicians how they are? And I've come to find out that the whole world actually does see our politicians as dictators, as running corrupt governments and running undeveloped countries, which is very much true. But it feels like that's where all this ends. Like, people know this about Africa, but that's where it ends. Not even the big bodies like the UN address this kind of things and the need to actually topple them, at least for the development of the people. Because I think UN's purpose is to ensure quality life for everyone. But nothing is done about our politicians. We have leaders ruling us for 32 years, for 24 years, and you can see clearly that it's bringing a lot of disparity and a lot of economical disparity in these countries, but nothing is done about it. But they're very much keen to talk about the Sustainable Development Goals 2030 agenda. But if you think about how Africa is going to achieve these goals, it involves taking loans, which will forever and forever be indebted in the name of we're trying to build infrastructures that you actually have almost no control over. So that these people can actually go ahead and take a GDP growth and decide this country is doing very well, but yet there's so many other people in that country who are starving, who are dying of all kind of things, but we take the GDP. Guys, white supremacy. The truth of all this is that white supremacy, who are the side watchers, the finger pointers, promote our corrupt leaders and punish those who stand up for African success. If you don't believe me, I dare you to look through our history. Look at the cause of death for many of the great leaders of African descent. And of course, I'm very much aware we can't keep blaming them. And I'm not even here to tell you, let's blame them. No, I'm not here to tell you that. What I'm here to say is we need to acknowledge this. We need to acknowledge that we live in a system where everything we do is not for us. Everything we do is to feed others and never to feed us, as Kenyans, as Africans, as Black people, so to say. And I think knowing your past helps you see the present and opens doors for your future. And for me, I realized I really need to know where did it all go wrong. And that's when I started looking up these things. And to be honest, the things you find, you're like, wow, it's so much hidden from us. It's so much taken from us that we can't even realize it. And it's even sad. I was talking to someone and the person was telling me that it's so unfair that it's until you travel or until you leave our continent that you're able to see our continent from a different perspective. But when you're within the continent, you think everything is alright, But then you actually come out here, you realize, oh, these people out here do know their history, do know where they came from really well. Then you're wondering, well, how much do I know? Personally, that's how it's been for me. I'm wondering, how much do I know of my history? The history I think I know of my country or of my people, is it really true? And so from there, I started going deep and trying to find out, what is this that we don't know? What is this that makes Kenya or Africans really poor and other people in the world completely not poor and completely never will be poor? And so that's when I found out about all these things. And I think from there, I thought I should share it with you because there is need for liberation, guys. And the liberation comes with us acknowledging this. And personally, I am for liberation. If it means that we realize that our leaders are puppets to this system that puts us against us, where they are rewarded with millions of dollars, and so they forget their purpose, which is to serve citizens. If it begins from there, let's realize that. Because realizing that is a simple shout that we have a role to play here in choosing to defy as a collective the design of this system. So if it means getting leaders who dare say no to this exploitation, and as the citizens playing our parts in backing this type of leaders, then let's go ahead and do that. Because honestly, everyone deserves to live life justly. Let disasters be natural. Let people be dying of natural things that you have no control over. But to imagine people are dying because there's no food, guys, because there's no good health care next to them, because of all those kind of things, it's really inhumane. And it's really sad when we say it's none of our business. So I'm urging you, go ahead and check out what I'm talking about. Or even do your own research and find out. Maybe you'll find out what I found out or something else, but please share with it. Because we need that acknowledgement and we need that liberation. Because this system, this white man system, will not save us. We have to save us. Whiteness will keep going and eventually it will collapse. And since you aren't considered in that plan, you'll fall deep into the ocean, and no one will be there to save you as they save themselves. And why am I saying that? I'm saying that because as we speak, Asian supremacy is coming up. And it's coming up at a very, very, very quick pace. And it's very much intermingled with white supremacy. Again, what is happening? Neocolonization, guys. Look at how we're running to learn Mandarin. You know? Guys, just look at all these facts and figures and all this history that is put out there. You know? We all young Kenyans, we all Africans, I believe we all look for one thing. We all look to be free. We all look to be financially free. We all look to be socially free. We just all look to have freedom. And I think the time to get that freedom is now. But if we keep operating in this system that colonized us, that marginalized us, that oppressed us, that neocolonized us, still neocolonizing us, we won't make it far. Our voices are very much needed. Enough with saying, here's this idea, I will be killed or stuff like that. Because this stuff is big, guys. And unless we come together and choose to liberate ourselves and refuse to sit and watch simply because we have been made to believe life is unfair, and so because you come from the dark continent, you're less deserving unless a white man saves you, let's liberate ourselves. Let this be your radicalization. I'm hoping this will touch a nerve and will tell you that you need to play your part. Don't sit back and call it naivety. Trust you can live in a system where poverty is non-existence, where you don't have to think about unemployment. And that doesn't come by copying a system that's not meant for you. It comes by curating your reality. Because the same way your belief was colonized, you still have a chance to decolonize and create an African reality of abundance, because that's our DNA. Guys, that's it from me. I'm having more content like this, so stay tuned. Like and comment and share on all platforms you're listening from when this resonates with you. And kama kawaida, remember to be a better Kenyan, seeking a better Kenya. Peace and blessings.